looks like a true old fashioned.
It does look like a true old fashioned. Do you think it's a true old fashioned?
I don't know.
All right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Horror Comedy Hangout podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Jessica.
And this one is a review. We're actually going to do a review of a movie. I know, right?
Super excited.
First time with the movie review. And obviously there are horror comedies. And so we picked a horror comedy to do, obviously.
I think we picked a great horror comedy. I loved it.
You did love it. It's going to be Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Came out in 2010. It's that offbeat, tacky, campy horror comedy that you expect, right?
Oh yeah, totally. It's like, and it's honestly the most hilarious like horror comedy I think I've seen yet.
Yes, it plays on those stereotypical types as well as those typical horror tropes.
Yeah,
cliches, everything
cliches
that you probably don't want to see in a movie, but this one you do want to see.
Oh geez, whoa, Jesus.
Did you see the way those guys looked at us?
So if you look on IMDb, which I have pulled up right over here, which you can't see, but the IMDb description is hillbillies Tucker and Dale are on vacation at their dilapidated mountain cabin when they're mistaken for murderers by a group of preppy college students.
Let's go skinny dipping.
So, and what could go wrong, right? Right? Yeah, absolutely. This film was by director Eli Craig and his friend Morgan Jurgensen. Mm-hmm. And Eli and Morgan got together and they wanted to write a horror film. And this is what came of it. Eli was a first-time director of this. This was his first time directing a big film, although it was indie. It's an indie film, but it was his big debut. They were both fans of that, the horror comedy classics, right? So when you watch this movie, you can see a lot of the horror comedy classics in that, because their first two scenes that they came up with actually were the scene, well, we'll give a little bit away, but
yeah, we can't give too much away,
where Tucker is sawing into a log full of bees. That's the first scene they came up with. And then the second scene they came up with was a accidental jump into a wood chipper.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, I didn't think
those are the first two.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are the first two scenes they came up with, and then they just wrote it from there, and that's where they came up with this horror comedy. But the big thing they wanted to do with this was take those tropes and those stereotypical hillbillies, and turn it on their side, where the hillbillies are not the bad guys, because they're always the bad guys. Especially in a horror film, they're the bad guys. So, in this film,
they were the total opposite. Basically.
Yeah, the total opposite.
Total opposite.
And the kids were
kind of typical preppy college kids.
They were typical preppy college.
For the most part, I think overall.
Yes.
I don't think we can give too much away on that, other than
absolutely
it's just a lot of typical stuff, but written so perfectly. And I think we might have just had the same idea. We totally forgot to cheers this.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Wow.
We forgot to do our tradition on the Horror Comedy Hangout podcast, and that is to cheers our episodes right from the beginning, right?
Yeah. But can you remember to like tap your glass this time? Because last time it was like an epic fail. Thank you.
I will tap the glass.
Thank you.
So that is one of the requirements to join us, is to bring your favorite drink. Doesn't have to be alcoholic. It can be non-alcoholic drink, right?
Yeah. Water, apple juice, sippy cup.
Apple juice. Yes. We prefer to have the alcoholic versions.
Yeah, we do.
Of those favorite drinks. So mine's old fashioned right here, and you have a White Claw.
Of course, I have a White Claw. It's black cherry tonight. I switched it up from lime.
Cheap. So. Yeah, set it up from the other. So we're going to cheers. So cheers, everybody out there.
Cheers. Tap the table. I'm superstitious, so I always have to tap the table. Bring us good luck.
All right. So now it's official.
Now it's definitely official. Now you can start all over again and just
narrate. No. We'll just
take it from where we left
it where it was at, and that's where we're gonna leave it. So with Eli Craig and Morgan, thank you. That it took them like 6 weeks to write this, so that was very quick. As a writer myself,
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's fast to me. So this was back in 2006, and it came out called the Redneck Rampage. That was the initial.
Redneck Rampage.
I know, right? Redneck Rampage.
Now that I've seen the movie, I don't know if I like the title more. I think
I like the way it is. And I'm sure everybody likes the way it is out there. I don't know. It makes it more fun.
That could be the sequel. Redneck Rampage.
Redneck Rampage. Maybe
a sequel.
It became it was a hillbilly massacre. That's what they described it as so they had to tone it back a little bit and make it more fun loving kind of thing. So it took them 3 years to get the production budget in.
I remember you saying it took 3 years. It's insane. Because nobody was like interested in it and nobody wanted to see it
nobody was interested in
a hillbilly redneck.
Well, when you get to the end of it, when you're at the end of it and you're trying to get distribution for your film, nobody liked it. It took them a year to get the film distributed.
That's crazy.
Even though it was entered into South by Southwest, which is a big film festival, it did really well. It did really well in many film festivals, and then sat on the shelf for a whole year while they tried to get distribution, which they finally did. And it's become, like I said at the top of the show, a cult classic. And there was, speaking of number 2, there was supposed to be a 2 back in where's my writing here? But
he writes like a serial killer, guys.
So no, it was 2016. The last time they talked about it was back in 2016, and it just kind of fell by the wayside. The actors, which I want to mention, was Alan Tudyk and Tyler Labine and Katrina Bowden were the main characters. I followed Alan because he's in a show right now called Alien Resident Alien. It's a funny comedy show. He's a good comedic actor. He's been on a lot of stuff as well. So the casting was really well done with this.
Oh yeah, I think the cast, everybody that was in the movie definitely played their parts, I think, very well.
Yeah, and speaking of that, they were definitely afraid of Katrina and Dale. They afraid the chemistry wasn't going to be there, or people were going to believe that their
dynamic wouldn't work.
Their dynamic wouldn't work.
Maybe.
Dale, what are you doing?
I'm taking a crapper haul.
You mind if I help?
He's making her dig her own grave.
Obviously it did.
Yeah.
And
it went great. And I think what I also really love about this movie too, is that even though it's a horror comedy, it's got that little bit of romance in there, which is kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah,
just enough.
It's that awkward romance, right?
It's that.
Oh, it's some pancakes. You hate pancakes. I'm gonna make you something else.
What am I doing here?
Fell into the water. Dove in and rescued you.
We'll go find your friends. You should relax. Tucker and Dale are on the case.
Because, like we said, these are college kids and hillbilly people. So you think of the stereotypical college kids, jerks, full of themselves, and then you got the hillbillies,
The good old boys.
The good old boys. They were just there to with their vacational, which makes me laugh every time that the hillbillies have a vacation. That was from the top of the film. Like, we're going out to our vacation home, and I'm like, that just had me laughing right from the moment one of that. Surgeons over CGI a little bit. So I was happy to know that there was only 2 CGI moments in this film. So,
well, yeah, if it involves a wood chipper, you're definitely going to want to use CGI.
No, it wasn't the wood chipper one.
Really?
No,
that's shocking.
It was Digital Bee, and then another a thing they used, a yard tool, let's say, that had to be that might have messed up somebody's face, or might not have messed up somebody's face. Yeah. Right?
Oh, I know it's okay.
Yeah, I'm not giving it away, right? I don't want to give it away.
It's just a yard tool. That's all of it.
Yard tool.
A yard tool. It's a very useful yard tool, though.
But again, this is such a great homage, B-film homage.
Oh, yeah.
To those tropes and those stereotypes that you go and watch those movies for. And I feel like with horror movies and the horror fans out there, that they want to see those tropes anyway.
Yeah.
You might not see the stereotypical way. And obviously they flip-flopped it on this one. You know, the hillbillies not being the stereotypical hillbillies. They were the actual victims in a way.
What is this place? It's just a cabin. It doesn't mean they're psycho killers.
Then why don't you go in there and talk to them?
All right. Maybe I will. I said maybe.
I don't know. From the moment I saw this movie, I was just like dying laughing. It's that turn off your brain, slapstick.
Just totally dive
campy.
in, get into the movie.
And those, as a filmmaker, those are the fun things I like to make. I mean, it does have, you know, to me, I feel like it does have, you know, a message, especially for Dale. Dale has the most transformation through the movie because, you know, he follows that stereotypical guy that's, you know, overweight and down on himself and just not feeling like he could go out with a beautiful lady. So I think the movie has that good message of, you know, don't sell yourself short. You're enough. Just go for it. And then, right?
Yeah, I definitely think like taking that risk and really realizing, you know, you have this potential and this amazing ability to be more than what you see yourself in is like also, this movie's got a lot. It's just, it's got more, honestly. Like when you told me to watch this movie, I was like, okay, typical horror comedy. I'll at least laugh, probably close my eyes, scream at something. But it was literally, the movie to me was so much more, being from like the outside perspective. And if I want to see a movie again, then I'm like hooked and into it.
Yeah.
So this was definitely a movie I would sit down and watch again because
I have many times.
That's great for you.
All right. No.
Because you're addicted to horror comedy, we know.
Yeah, well, horror and horror comedy, but I've watched. It's one of those things you can just watch over and over again.
It is. And I would totally go watch this movie right now.
Because
maybe I'll go watch the movie right now and you finish the podcast for the.
No. You gotta stay. Because those comedy gags are just the ones that are just.
They get you.
They get you every time, and it's just.
And there's nothing in this movie, to me, I guess, from my perspective, that makes you think like this couldn't happen or would it happen in real life, because it's just that hilarious. And to me, it's just, I think the college kids try so hard in the movie that everything ends up going wrong.
Well, and I think the hillbillies also try so hard.
Yeah. It's like both parties are trying so hard to. Yeah,
I guess that's the other thing too. Is you're just trying so hard. You're pushing so hard to do what you're supposed to be doing, and it just goes all wrong.
It goes all backwards.
Because I mean, that's what's going to happen in a movie, right? Everything doesn't go right usually in a movie. So
usually it doesn't. And this one, it's like it couldn't get any more perfect of how wrong this movie goes.
The suicide pact. These kids are coming out here and they're killing themselves all over the woods.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, without giving away any.
We just can't give it away. Sorry, guys.
Spoiler alerts.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
No,
you have to just go see it for yourself.
Yes, and it's out there.
On what networks can they watch it on?
I don't remember.
Oh no, we're downhill already.
No, I don't remember. And that's okay. You just have to look up Tucker and Dale versus Evil on that.
Isn't it on like Tubi or Paramount or somebody like that?
One of those.
Someone. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody has it out there. Just
there's a couple other interesting things that I found while they shot the movie, because being from that filmmaker perspective, I always find interesting because they were indie filmmakers and trying to, get the budget, and they finally got the budget. Mm-hmm. They got actors with some names. So
they got a location.
And they got a location. They filmed in Canada.
Oh,
but
gorgeous.
The problem is they filmed in Canada. They filmed in the winter.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yep.
My gosh.
So they filmed it in the winter. There's some lake scenes where they have to get in the water. Actually, the girls have to get in the water too with skimpy stuff. So
so just kind of preview really quick. I wouldn't exactly have if you're going to have your children watch, maybe kind of cover their eyes at the lake scene.
Yeah, there's no naked scenes or anything.
Just that one little bit.
But they were saying that lake was frozen the week before they had to get in it. So they had to make sure they had divers and paramedics and everybody standing by.
We got your friend!
They captured Allison!
That's the life of an actor, right? Getting it actually.
Yeah. And what's crazy too is the one girl that was in the movie, one of the girls that was in the movie, she literally had these wedge heels on and she had to hold on to a handbag. And I remember sitting there thinking the entire time, me as an actor, I would have like thrown the shoes, thrown the handbag. It would have been game over. I felt like that girl, she just held it together. It was holding on to that purse the entire time. And I was like, you get him, chick. I would have thrown it. I'd have been done. I'd have been that like actress. I'd have been like,
I mean,
I'm
I think
outta
that's
here.
staring with that, sticking to that stereotypical
Typical college preppy
college
girl.
kid that doesn't want to give up
But
their
man,
clothes.
she was.
It's all about
I had to
fashion.
give it to her. Yeah, she was looking good and clutching that purse.
Yeah. So there was that. And then I found it very interesting that during that time they were trying to get distribution for the film that Craig had put, Eli Craig had put, scored it with the Dark Knight music. Just a lot of times when you do a film, you kind of score it with other music to get an idea. So just lay it underneath before you actually put a score together, but at least gives you some direction for the editor and other things, so you know where you're at with that. So he had scored it with the Dark Knight,
Right, yeah.
but that copy got leaked. So there's actually a copy out there of it not complete totally and with the Dark Knight score under it as well. So just a really interesting thing I found very interesting.
So Batman meets Tucker and Dale.
What's that?
It said like Batman meets Tucker and Dale.
Yes, and he would have probably met his match with those hillbillies.
Heads up. Oh, you gotta take the safety off on the side there. Don't do that. Just start being more careful.
They tried so hard
Oh man.
to help the kids, and the kids were so like hell bent against keeping that trope of hillbillies are bad that they meet their matchmaker.
They met their matchmaker?
No,
No.
no, they did not. They met their match and their maker.
What's the word? They met their match. Yeah, you are right.
And the maker. They died. Some of them died. Some of the college kids died.
Oh no.
Yeah. Just so you know, I'm gonna say that.
Womp womp.
Yeah. And it's just I like, what's his name again? Who played Dale?
Oh no.
Tyler Labine. I really like how he played that character, that shy, unassuming, sweet kind of guy. But he's big. It's like that contrast that you put, you give the big guy the unassuming teddy bear. It's always that teddy bear kind of personality he has. He has that inferior complex.
The gorgeous eyes.
Yeah. And he has that ignorance, that bliss, that
Ignorance is bliss.
yeah, kind of thing to him. So it's just, that's very endearing. So it's just that this movie has that heart to it as well.
Oh, good. Look, your friends are here.
And then it has the comedy, slapstick comedy. You have to like that campy slapstick comedy, tons of heart, and those reverse roles of the, the hillbillies, those tropes, but throw those tropes on there.
Tropes or ropes?
Tropes.
Tropes.
Yep, on the ropes.
Okay.
Throw the tropes on the ropes. See, that's good. I like that, right? You don't like that. Okay. So we'll move on from tropes on the ropes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this episode will be called Tropes on the Ropes now.
Tropes on the ropes. Yeah. There's always a statement.
Every episode.
Every episode of usually what a guest says. And
and we don't have a guest, and you just came up with it.
I just came up with it this time.
I know we're having to talk to ourselves this time.
Yeah. Which is fine. So, Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Totally got to go watch it. It's an amazing movie.
Yeah. What kind of score would you give that? Kind of.
Well, what's the scale?
Up to 10.
It's a 10. Oh, that's hard. Okay.
No, I'm not giving it. I didn't say it was a 10, but.
No, I know
From
you
1
didn't
to
say
10.
it was a 10.
No,
I wouldn't say the movie was a 10.
No. I don't.
I think for
so
me, because
either.
we all know I'm not a big horror comedy type of person. Horror is a little out of my realm. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say the movie's at least a 7 for me. But that's just for me because I laughed and I enjoyed it and I want to see it again. So
Yeah, I think
it was done really well, to be honest.
I think I'd give it like an 8, maybe
Okay, you
7.5, 8,
Well, because
7 or 8. I think I'm on the same Scale as you.
Yeah.
Because it was written well. That was the thing.
It was
It's
written
like,
well. It kept you laughing.
It really was.
And I think it's like a little bit of that edge on the seat in a way too, because you're like, what is going to happen next? Like, what else could go wrong?
Yeah. It's Murphy's Law, or just that black cloud, bad day kind of thing they're having. So everything that could go wrong goes wrong on that film.
Yeah.
So yeah, go see that. It's streaming. Obviously, it came back out in 2010, and what are we in 2024? So it's been a long time. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, I checked and I'm like, okay, when's number 2 coming out? Because I want to see a 2, because I feel like there's, with those characters are so fun. I could watch them again doing something else.
Yeah.
A whole nother thing. And when the actors were interviewed back in the day, they were like, yeah, as long as the script is as good as it was before, they said they would come back and do it. But that's been years since that's happened, and I just don't know. Maybe it should just be a standalone.
I think it's just gonna have to stand alone.
Be a standalone film, which is fine.
It's great.
It's fine. You made a great film, and that's a lot of the battle. As a writer and a filmmaker, just getting something there. I think that's why I gave all those statistics and stuff, because it blows my mind how
a great product can
sit on a shelf for a long time and nobody will pick it up. But they just didn't give up. So don't give up on your films out there. Make sure you write a great script, even a horror comedy script. Cause I know,
make sure you write a great script.
Anybody out there that's a writer, write that great script. Cause that was the big thing, I think. Cause even the actors who, when they were asked if they would come back again, that was their basis, was long as the script is as good as it was before, we'll come back.
Okay.
Wasn't anything else.
I get your point.
You know what I'm saying? There wasn't anything else they wanted to do. They just, as long as they had a great script, they're going to come back. So that's my
gotcha.
My tip. Make sure you take the time to write a great script. And you can pay your homage to great horror films, because that's what they did with this one. Friday the 13th, Blair Witch Project, Texas Chainsaw. They were big fans, and that's how they showed their appreciation to it by writing this one. And you can see it in the scenes that they used, that they wrote that. So go see it.
Enjoy it.
This has been Chris and Jess.
Yeah.
Right. On our review. Sorry. Yeah, that was probably a spike.
Did you forget our names all of a sudden?
No. I'm just coming back to what is the name of the podcast, which is right back there.
Which nobody can apparently ever say in this podcast either.
It's a tongue twister. And
who came up
we
with
own this
name?
one. I don't know. But yes, thank you for watching the Horror Comedy Hangout podcast. Please go check us out on thehorrorcomedyhangout.com. The Horror Comedy Hangout on Instagram. Okay. The Horror Comedy Hangout YouTube channel. Okay. Where you can see us, actually. And then all streaming podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple and iTunes and all that stuff. You can find us. And you can listen to us, or you can watch us, whatever you prefer. I like to watch, but.
Yeah, I think it's better to watch. You get the emotion behind us. Man, we're on a lot of platforms.
Yeah, we are.
Jeez.
Yeah. That's the thing. We want to get it out to the world.
You went above and beyond on that. Okay. Yeah. I like it.
We did. So
I approve that message. You approved it.
She's we can move on then.
Okay. Yes. Let's move on.
All right. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great day, and we'll see you soon on the next one.
Bye.